Sky Knight, and today, witches. Nothing but witches. That is the deck profile that I'll be bringing to you today. This one seems a bit out of a field for some reason. I don't know, it's one of those builds that pops up and then leaves every now and then. And it catches people's eye and it fits in a meta and then it vanishes and then it comes back again. It's just very interesting how each uh, different format this witch build keeps coming up. So I'm gonna bring you a version today that really fits my playstyle. A lot of the choices in there that you guys will see may not agree with. However, it's something that I'm comfortable playing. So without further ado, let's start things off. So the starter is Little Witch Lulu. Pretty much that is a must. Well, I don't want to say a must, but that is the preferred choice of most OTT players because it nets you the most value. Aside from playing, what's her face? CEO Tarasu. So this is the preferred choice of most OTT players. Next, the trigger lineup. Because of what OTT does best, most people end up playing a basic. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 12 crit deck. Just because the deck draws so much that putting draw triggers in the deck just seems counterproductive. So this would be probably the best way to go for it. And then lastly, for heals, Lozenge Magus. You know, the card has been with OTT since the beginning of the game with two different types of art. I like this pretty pink one more. It just the ability to go back within the deck is immense, and then just being able to draw so much, you don't really need the 10k shield in your hand, so it gives more chances for you to heal to lower percentage of damages. So, Lozenge Magus. For the grade 1s, this is where things are going to get interesting. So, and I apologize ahead of time. I run, of course, 4 perfect guards. I actually don't own a set of unflipper perfect guards, which is kind of weird. But also, it makes up for it. I like running Sunny, so I am A-okay with that. Next, I run 3 Coco. I think she is a must in this deck. I like the ability to check the top card of my library and then having to put it on top or bottom. I think it's a gold, pretty much a gold OTT card, and probably one of my favorite battle sisters. 3 Stride Enablers, because striding is the way to go in this format. 2 Emerald Witch Lalas. This card shot up in price. I have no idea why, but actually I do know why, because it's much better than Gaga. However, it's a must to have in the deck in order for you to perform your stride mechanic. And lastly, 2 Air Elemental Forarlons. Now you're wondering, why are you running this card? It makes absolutely no sense unless you're running some Air Elemental strides. And yes, I am. And the reason why I chose this card was one of the things that OTT lacks is power, depending on your build. And since this is pretty much a stride format, you have nothing but 6Ks and 7Ks behinding. So I feel that Forarlon is an excellent choice to have, especially with my choices of the stride zone. This card is very excellent. So next for my grade 2, easy squeezy. I run 4 10k vanillas because the counter rush is always real. I run 4 mochas, and 3 glosses. So automatically right now, I know a lot of you are probably like disliking the video, or even stop watching. And I get it. There is no silent time in the deck. Silent time is just extremely expensive. It's a staple OTT card. What can I say? If I had the choice of running silent time, glacé wouldn't be in there. I'd have mochas. Or even vice versa. I would go 4 times and 3 mocha slash glacé. Whatever. The point being is that I just don't own any toms at the moment, and this is probably the best grade 2 lineup I can come up with that'll help me. It pretty much means I have to alter my playstyle, which I had no problem doing. I've won a good fair amount of games with this deck without Tom. Just having Tom in the deck would just make me win more games out of it. Uh, and that's pretty much it. Now for the grade 3 lineup, it should be pretty simple for that one. It's 4 and 4, Cuckoo and Mimi, and Cuckoo and Coco. They are the bread and butter of the deck, especially when you are able to ride Coco. That's 3 cards that you're going to be drawing and then entering the Soulless state. It's really good, and especially if you're able to rewrite Coco on top to try it again to draw another 2 cards if you have the counterblast for it. The amount of draw potential in the deck is so good, and Cuckoo working on rear guard is just amazing. And so now let's get it with the strides. So I run for my stride zone, and yes, it is complete. 2 Madus. Madus are the perfect ride if I have to end up on Coco first. If I end up striding with one of my grade 3s, or one of them just happens to be in the drop zone from healing off, Madu is a perfect ride. Absolute perfect ride to go into. And those are 2 for my Air Elemental 4 islands. Next, I run 4 Blizza. Again, one of the main things that I find is lacking in Oracle Think Tank is power, and Blizza definitely helps that up. And especially when I could use 4 islands ability to turn over, it becomes to turn over 1 with a Blizza. When it goes away in the next turn, I have a 4 island at a 9k booster. So I definitely do enjoy having Blizza in the deck for that reason. I kind of may put Madu up by 1 more and Blizza down by 1, just because I end up using Madu a lot more. And lastly, 2 Mimis. Why only 2? Her ability seems really good. After watching people play the card and people play the deck, and just looking at her in general, Mimi is a late game card. Mimi is the card you use to close the game. You want to use, I mean, and that's just my opinion, but how I see it, if you use Mimi in the early game, people will just take the 1 point of damage, and then just guard all your attacks and only take 1 damage. Why go through that? Why not force them to discard the cards out of their hands, so they don't go to 6 or go to 5 for that matter, and just hit them with powerful attacks. I've the games that I've won always closed out with Mimi. She is the last stride that I go into. When they're at 4 and 5, I want to stride into Mimi, and that's it. That's how I close my games, because I usually either A, take the damage because they can't guard, or they discard the cards out of their hand and I still kill them because I'm swinging for good numbers. So I love having Mimi as the closing stride. And yes, I have, and we'll be honest here, if I have 1 witch on point and what was that, 7 grade 3s left, plus an extra 2, so I have 9 chances to actually stride into her. Minimum. Minimum. So, hopefully I have the witches in hand to do so, but I've never, again, most of my games I've closed out with Mimi. Very few times that I've closed out with Madu or even Blizzard. And again, guys, that's my witch profile deck. I do enjoy it. I'll play it from time to time. I can't wait till I get my hand on a Tom so this deck can be even better. I do think this deck can be competitive. You just have to play around it, play with it very particularly. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, please leave it in the comment section below. If you like Kaiser or myself to profile a deck, let us know in the comment section below. Have a great day, guys.